Good morning. Can you believe that it's already June? We are almost halfway through the year. In just a couple of days, we'll be celebrating the independence of our country. Hopefully, everybody gets a chance to breathe because it's been a very busy season. But we are halfway through the year. We're doing some unbelievable, great things. Everybody should feel fantastic about how we're performing overall. I'm going to share a little bit of how well we're doing, and I'm going to share a small bit of some key areas of focus that would help us make sure that we continue to get the kind of business that we've been getting in the relocation world. Let's talk about where we are year to date. Here's a simple graph that tells you how many transactions as of 6/14/11 versus 6/14/12 we've done. This year it's 809 versus 634 last year, for a 28% increase in transactions in the books year to date. That is a phenomenal increase, and it comes off of what was a record year last year, and a record year the year before, and a record year before that. So we continue to just build at an awesome rate, and it's because every single person in this organization is committed and cares and is doing everything that they can to make this happen. So it's greatly appreciated and something that everybody should be proud of. Our sales price is doing well. It's of those transactions that are in the book, it's 2.5% up. And seasonally, I'm noticing that our sales price is starting to move up and click a heck of a lot faster now in the summer months. We're seeing some bigger sale prices as the summer months are coming in. That's exactly what happened last year, and it's expected, but we're doing very well. So we're seeing an increase in both sides, which is a very healthy sign for our real estate market. That's the past news. The future news is even better. We have 503 pending transactions that were in the books as of 6/14. We had already counted 72 settled transactions in the books when we looked at that 809 number above. What we hadn't counted is the 269 transactions that were pending between June 14th and July 1st. If we settled all that, guys, we would do 341 transactions in June. That's versus the biggest month that we ever had in the history of NM, 186, just 1 year ago. So it's unbelievable. I mean, we just are growing, and these numbers are almost silly. What's also almost silly was that May was the largest month that we'd ever had. We just last month in May did 220 transactions for 85 million, and we obviously are going to blow that right out of the water just 1 month later. And with 503 transactions, it's quite possible we'll do it again in July, and quite possible that we'll do it again in August. So things are looking really good, and the tough things that we ask and the tough things that everybody is doing, it's paying off. So how are we doing? We know how we're doing this year. We know how things are tracking. We really need to start getting focused on next year and how we're going to make sure that this continues to happen for us. And we all know that if we can be platinum in all three of the anagrams, we get the kind of results that we saw on last page. For those of you that have never seen this before, Cardus looks at our company and they split it into 3 areas. And in each of those 3 areas, they say, how is Century 21 performing in that area, and should we give them the benefit of the extra referrals based on whether or not they have the platinum status? So the first one we're going to look at is called CTE. CTE is the southern part of our Virginia territory. It most affects our Stafford and Fredericksburg office, but also has some effect on our Culpeper and Woodbridge offices. In our CTE anagram, we are 7 points behind platinum, and we have a status of silver. Less than 10% of the companies in Cardus get any kind of status whatsoever. So silver puts you in the top 10% of all companies. Don't worry, we have a plan to be platinum, and don't worry, this is about where we were last year. Means we have work in front of us, but it's certainly something that we can and will accomplish. We'll get into that in just a minute. If we move north in our Virginia area, we are platinum, and we have actually are tracking 4 points ahead. That is great news. It's a great place to be. I'll tell you that these points are volatile and you can gain and lose points quickly, so I don't get really very comfortable until January 1st with any of this. But we're doing very well and everybody should feel really good. That particularly is going to affect our Woodbridge, Alexandria, McLean, Centerville, Gainesville, and Washington, D.C. offices. So great job. We're performing well in this area, and we're going to continue on the plan to make sure that we do that. As we move east across into Maryland, that is called NMM. It includes our Columbia, Annapolis, Dunkirk, Waldorf, La Plata, Lexington Park, and Solomon's offices. In that area, guys, we're 3 points behind. We have something that's called gold status, and with just 3 more points, we'll be platinum. Our goal and our mission is to be platinum in all 3, and we're going to do that. Here's how we can get there. There's a couple of area focuses that I really need everybody to zone in on. The number one is our agent-generated referrals into the USAA and NFCU programs. Guys, we're way behind on what we did last year. And if you all remember, we made platinum in CTE and in NMM solely on the fact that for the first time in the history of the company, we made our goals in those areas, in the AGR area, and we got some points there. Had we not gotten those points, we would not have been platinum and we wouldn't see some of the business that we're seeing. So it's really important that we refocus on this. There's some very simple things that you can do. With anybody that you're talking to, you want to ask that person, are there any relocation benefits that you have? Are you a member of a program that offers you a real estate benefit such as USAA or NFCU? And you want to do that because they might say, I have relocation benefits through Weichert. Well, they're probably going to be referred to Weichert, but you can still work with them. You want to identify what these people have and make sure that there are no surprises. Get them locked into you. They're going to get locked into you because of the USAA or the NFCU trust that they have. They're also going to get locked in by us putting them into the program. It guarantees that it comes to our company. That doesn't always come to our company. If they were to call in and Coldwell Banker was on top of the screens and that person didn't mention us, in comes one of our competitors. But more than that, it's going to lock that person specifically into you. It's going to reduce the referral fee by 10%. It's also going to guarantee that on that referral, you're not having to pay an additional commission charge. And it's going to help us tremendously with getting into our platinum status that we need. I honestly, guys, I believe that when we look at those first screens and the kind of business that we're getting, we really owe it to these programs to support them in the way that they're supporting us. They're spending millions of dollars. I know you've all seen the commercials. They are advertising the heck out of themselves in this area, building up customers for us. We need to make sure that when we find out somebody has this type of membership, that we're putting those people back into the program. Next area that we want to focus on is our listing conversion rates. So this year they've split out our conversion rates, and it used to be just that you got points if you hit a certain overall conversion. Now you have points for both the buying side and the selling side. Well, only 20 to 25% of the people that we receive as referrals are on the selling side, and that's in the USAA and NFCU world. So it's a smaller subset, and it's easier to move it forward just because it's less people, and each transaction actually helps you move a percentage forward. So if you look in our CTE anagram right now, 19% of our sellers are converting, 21% of our NFCU sellers are converting. For NML, USAA is 24%, NFCU is 23%. In NMM, USAA is 17%, and NFCU is 20%. So we can move all of that forward. This is the time of the season when we have all those transactions coming in. We're going to get a big bump there anyway. But if we can just focus in a little bit harder, make sure obviously that we remember that almost always this is a competitive listing, situation where another company has probably also gotten this referral. So the speed with which we get in touch with people is really important. making sure that we reference the program that they came through and build the confidence off of being a USAA ambassador, off of being an NFCU ambassador, making sure that we're actually winning that listing by having a fantastic listing presentation. I know how hard the branch leaders have worked to really put together a great listing presentation at the company level. We really require that that is done with these customers. Then obviously once we have them and have won the listings, you have people that obviously sometimes need some price adjustments. You have people that whose house may not be in the best of showing condition. Please, please, please come to your branch leader and just pick their brain on, hey, I'm having trouble getting somebody to do the repairs that they really need to do. What's a different strategy? Let's look at each one of these opportunities and make the most out of them. We can certainly pick up some points there. Last but not least, we have an opportunity when we turn an effective sales lead into Cartus, we actually get a platinum point for that. So that's a great opportunity for our company, and I'm going to open that opportunity up to you guys. There has to be an understanding of what it is, and there has to be an understanding of what's in it for me. Let's start with the what it is. There are two really kinds of benefits that we talk to corporations about. One is our Total Home Services platform, which is an affinity program that's very much like the USAA or the NFCU program. So with a Total Home Services, you have a corporation, and everybody within that corporation, if they signed into it, would be entitled to a cashback privilege if they register and come through our program. So it's really a marketing effort to get a HR benefit within a company for all employees. That's Total Home Services. That's something that we generally handle ourselves. The next level is many of those corporations are actually offering a relocation package to their employees. Relocation packages cover the moving, they cover the boxing, they cover the moving of the cars, they include buyouts of the homes when somebody is selling, they include mortgage assistance on the purchase, and all of those things have an IRS tax implication, and they're quite difficult to manage. Cartus is phenomenal at that. We've made a conscious decision as a company that it would take a whole different level. We'd have to hire different people in our accounting department and our relocation department. It's not an area that we could really build out. We are happy to work with Cartus and have them come in and be the people that offer that kind of assistance. Who is it that we need to talk to about that? Well, we've got to talk to usually a CEO or somebody at a very senior level, and usually the best person to bring in is an HR person. Generally, these benefits are managed within the HR department. There are many corporations who manage it themselves. There are many corporations who will have a competitor of Cartus as the person who's managing it. If we can legitimately get in and have Cartus make a presentation on how they could do it better, that's what Cartus is looking for, and that's when it will be qualified. For generating these referrals, really think that the best thing that you can do, and what I ask you to do, is go directly to your branch leader. If you have an opportunity that you think, hey, I think this might be a good fit for a Cartus sales lead, I want you to talk to your branch leader first. And the reason why I want you to do that is I want to make sure that your branch leader and you both agree, you know what, by bringing in Cartus, I'm going to go from getting maybe 2 or 3 opportunities from this corporation to 20 or 30 opportunities. By bringing in a whole bigger picture, yeah, I'm going to pay some referral fees, but I'm going to do so much more business that it's worth it. So let's talk beyond just that larger exposure. There has to be a what's in it for me. Here's what's in it for me. As an agent, first of all, I know that there's plenty of people that have done a really great job of placing some friends and family referrals. They may or may not think, hey, I don't know if I'm going to get my closed friends and family referral and meet my requirement. Well, guess what? If we're opening it up now where if you put in a sales lead for Cartus and Cartus says, yeah, that was a bona fide opportunity, doesn't mean that they actually have to sign it, just means that they actually thought it was a bona fide opportunity. We'll give you credit for a closed friends and family for the rest of the year. But more than that, that's nice. It doesn't really make you money. It just helps you meet that requirement, which I know everybody's looking at. where you can make some money on this. First of all, you'll get, once if Cartus is able to sign that sales lead, you get the first right of refusal for all the leads that are generated for that corporation in our area. So anything that comes into our company, you're going to get the first right of refusal for that lead. You're also going to get a reduced referral fee on that lead most of the time. And when I say most of the time, it's probably 90% of the time, and probably what that reduced referral fee is going to be 25%. It's very hard to say all the time because these deals do have a lot of money that needs to be managed, and you have to have a discussion first before you know that there's going to be a reduced referral fee. You'll be part of that discussion. You'll understand it before we ever sign anything, and you'll have an actual piece of paper in writing that says, here's what it is. I just want to tell people that occasionally there are situations where the referral fee is not reduced. In general, those are in really big situations where we're talking tons of referrals, and it would still be a great opportunity for you. You can also have, if you're unable to transact the lead that's coming in, whether it be that it's not your service area, you don't have a license in that state, and it's maybe in Maryland and you're in Virginia, or you're just not available when that client is in town, there's an opportunity for you to also get a percentage of the transaction if another agent transacts the referral. And again, that's all dependent upon the referral fee being reduced down to that 25%. And like I said, that's going to happen probably 90% of the time. It's probably higher than that. I just want to set an expectation that it doesn't happen all the time. So the opportunities are within the company, and there's also opportunities where you might be able to get some friends and family referrals out of that as well, and help yourself meet some requirements there and earn some different income. So great opportunity to make yourself bigger, service an entire company. You be the agent that gets the first opportunity, and you still make money if you're not available or if it's not in your service area. So talk to your branch leader if you feel you have one. There's hopefully some good incentives in there for you, and then we'll get involved. What we'll want to do is get into a phone call where I'll bring the Cartus sales representative in, and we'll get on the phone with that CEO and or that HR director and try to see if we can get the sales lead qualified. Some seasonal reminders that I want to put out there for everybody. Our volume is very high right now, and our volume is high for everyone. I have walked into your offices. I see the number of files sitting on your desk. That's tough to manage. I see the number of files that are sitting on my people's desks. I see the number of files sitting on our loan officers' desks, on the title, the desks of our title settlement officers. The people at USAA Mortgage are busy. Everybody is busy. Your branch leaders, your staff in your offices, the transaction coordinators. The more organized we can be, the better, and the more you're going to enjoy your life. And what I mean is, when you're looking at those contracts that you have, you want to make sure that you have a system and that you're reviewing them 2 weeks out. Identify the problems ahead of time and see if we can get them identified. The further out we have an opportunity to do that, the better the chance that as you get closer to the date and the stress levels are up, you're not spending your time on that. You're out there with a new client making sure that you have closings that will be coming in the fall. Remember that all escalations for any kind of mortgage help that you need should come in through our relo@c21nm.com. You can certainly send the email to me, and I'm always trying to be responsive to that. I just ask you, please copy Relo@. I'm often in meetings. I don't want it to sit around until I get to it. I have a whole team that monitors Relo@, and will move it and process it through. Want to remind everybody that we're wanting to save the deal for every transaction that we do. So that means saving the deal for First County, saving the deal for USAA, saving the deal for NFCU. If it's not going with the source lender, we want an opportunity to let that source lender know about it and compete for it, and we really need your help in doing that 100% of the time. Whenever you're calling any of these places, please remember the phones are recorded. I know it sounds silly to say, but every year 2 or 3 people fall into the trap. You know, often when we're calling down there, we've got somebody sitting at the settlement table. We may or may not be talking to somebody that's helping us. You get frustrated, you say something that you wish you didn't say, and unfortunately it's recorded, and the next thing you know, we've taken a bad situation and made it a whole lot worse. So keep your wits about you. Speak to everybody like they're the president of the company, and you're not going to have a problem. I promise you, you're going to get a lot further anyway by doing that. When people are on the other end of the line as busy as they are right now, we're not going to bully them. We're not going to push them around. We just need to be very friendly and very firm about what it is that we're trying to get accomplished for our customers. Another reminder that I think this goes for the entire year, but definitely as we're in the high season, remember to keep your smartphone messages short and to the point. It's a recorded history, and I see it every once in a while in somebody who has a legal question with us after the transaction starts forwarding back all the emails that we sent to them. And often a lot of the emails are sent from an iPhone, and they're probably sent while we're driving 60 miles an hour in between appointments. They're misspelled. They answer one of the 6 questions that were asked, and all of a sudden that person is presenting that as a history of us confirming something with them when that really wasn't true. So keep your smartphone messages real short. If somebody's asking you a detailed question and you need to get back to them, you can certainly get back to them and say, hey, I'm on it, I understand, let me get back to you in detail later this evening when I'm at my computer. I highly, highly recommend that. I'm seeing it more and more and more. Finally, communicate your availability with your branch leader as referrals are coming in. Certainly, we're looking for people who are available right now with the volume that we have. We also understand that you may be really busy with your own business, plus a lot of business that we've sent to you. I hope that you have that relationship with your branch leader to tell them, hey, dial it back for me for the next couple of weeks, and then dial me back up in a couple of weeks when I get through what I've got. So really, that's the best way that we're going to make sure that our conversion and our service stay really high, and great communication should be rewarded with giving you the referrals when you're ready. And I hope that that's happening out there. I want to just show you something that's a little alarming. We are so good, and I've showed you so many areas where we're really good. I showed you that our worst status that we have at the moment still puts us in the top 10%, and we know we're going to finish even higher than that. So I'm not picking on anybody. I'm just letting you know this is the sort of the next level of what we're looking at. And this comes to an organizational perception, and also, you know, Cartus looks in and they look at us and they say, if these guys are updating their paperwork on time and they're communicating with us about what's going on with the files, and they pay us on time and they send us the contracts on time, that means they're really well organized and we should probably send them more business. Vice versa, if it's the opposite, they're looking in and saying, boy, I have some real concerns that that company's overwhelmed and we might want to start filtering and putting a few more deals over to the competition. So let me show you, within the rules that we agreed to, when there's a corporate marketing update due, we are doing that on the time that we agreed to do it, 36% of the time. I'm showing you one of the top performers in the country, Coldwell Banker United, specifically a part of their company that's down in Pensacola, Florida, and Alabama. They have tons of affinity business just like us. They're relative to us in size, and this is an area that they're better than us. We're better than them in a bunch of areas, but this is an area where they're better than us, and that's not going to last for long. We're changing that. Do we include the listing information in our updates? Yes. You know, here's the update. Want to let you know I actually did the listing. Here's what we have it listed for. Here's the information. Here's a link to the MRIS for that specific property. We're not doing that. I don't know that we've done a great job of asking you for that. I'm not picking on anybody here. I think we need to do a better job, but we need that information. Did you win the listing? And if you did, what did we list the property for? Give us some details. This one's critical, guys. Timely pending sales. How often do we turn in the contract within 48 hours of the date of ratification? The answer is 14% of the time. that's as bad as there is anywhere. And so you're going to see a lot of focus on us. We'll come up with reports and systems and ideas to improve it. But the truth is that any time that we decide that we're going to do something and do it better, and this whole company kind of puts their arms together and decides to do it, it gets done. And I need everybody to put their arms together and hold hands, sing songs, do whatever we need to do, but start turning in our pending sales in a heck of a lot more timely than what we're doing right now. We are stamping them. We are counting the days in between ratification and the days that we received it. We are going to be looking at it that way. But really, it makes sense, guys, if you think about if this Coldwell Banker United company happened to be in our territory and they had the same stats as us in all the other areas, plus they had this, who would you send the business to? So the other area is turning in our final sale paperwork within 48 hours of the contract. We do a pretty good job on that. Obviously, you can see from the company that we're comparing ourselves against that we can do it better. And guys, I'm comparing ourselves against the best company in the entire country. I'm doing that because that's where I think we belong. We are the best company in the entire country in so many areas, and we need to be in this area as well. I really just need some focus on that. I know you probably get all the time, where's this update, where's that update? It really is important. If you think about it from the big picture, when we don't send that stuff on time, there's a bunch of people at Cardus and other organizations wondering, maybe they're a little overwhelmed and we shouldn't be sending them as much business as we are. So we got to take that perception and absolutely turn it upside down and say, you know what, they're totally on top of it and we should be sending them more business. So let's get that done. I want to give you a real fast lead router update. We've talked a little bit. We've hired Burgess Enterprises, who's going to be scrubbing and incubating all of our IDX, general inquiry, and unresponded leads that were coming through Lead Router. So in the past, if you're a listing agent, the lead comes in, the lead goes to you through Lead Router. If you have everything all set and ready to go and you're in green status and you answer that within time, you get that lead. There's no referral fees. Have at it. Nothing about that has changed. But in the past, if you didn't answer it, or if it was just a general inquiry lead, it would bounce around in Lead Router, and it would go, sometimes our Virginia leads would end up in Maryland, and we'd all be scratching our heads wondering how the heck did that happen. Technology's great, but you can't be completely reliant on it. So instead of doing that, we're going to bounce it and send it right over to Burgess Enterprises. Burgess Enterprises will scrub the lead. They'll do a number of things with it. They may decide, you know what, this is just somebody advertising to us. It's not a lead at all. They may decide, hey, this is a very actionable lead. And if they do, they're going to qualify it, send it to one of our relocation coordinators who's going to set it up in RealSpec and put it out to us just the way we receive all of our other referrals as a qualified, well-scrubbed lead. We may have leads that are really great leads, but they're just not ready to go yet. It's not actionable. We'll put them into the appropriate action plans in Lead Router, and when that person becomes more actionable and really has a specific need that an agent can resolve, we'll then have incubated it and then put it in through RealSpec. So I want you to understand that these are not your typical e-leads. We're going to be doing a lot of work to get better. I want you to know that you're all eligible to receive them. You're not automatically receiving them. You want to let people know, hey, I also would like to receive those leads as well. Certainly you're on our A team, and we know you'll do a great job with them. And I want you to also know that we're going to be tracking them under a totally different source code. So don't be worried that your conversion rate's going to be looked at differently. I believe these are going to be high-value leads because of the scrubbing process, but we are going to track it separately and look at it separately and measure it separately. So it's nothing but really, really good news. As with anything, when it's new, I'm sure that we'll run into some problems that we haven't foreseen, but I really believe this is a much, much simpler process. It will help bring high-value leads and another source that you guys can go out there and be belly to belly with good opportunities. I know that it was a bit long this month, but there was a lot to cover. I hope everybody has a wonderful 4th of July. I hope everybody continues to have a great selling season. I thank everybody for what you're doing and looking forward to celebrating all of this hard work in the months to come. Take care.